So the Impi Warriors set the scene in Cape Town. Well, Sia Khaleesi did miss a single test match last year. He was among those who were absent in Bloemfontein when Jacques Nienaber made 19 changes to his 23. So 1 or 2 vacant seats at the Cape Town Stadium. It truly is one of the magnificent arenas in world rugby. The mountain, the backcloth, look at that. Is there a better view in world sport?
Sung by actress, singer, and our Centurion's fiancée, Alia van Rijnsburg.
Così si keleli Afrika, malu pakan Yesu ponarayo, izwayi mitanda zoyetu. Così si kelela tina lusa polwayo, murena buluka se chaba.
Well, Ireland have done it in New Zealand. England won the series in Australia. I wonder, can Wales do the same against the world champions. The referee, Matthew Carley from England, he was one of the assistants in Bloemfontein last weekend, well acquainted with both of these teams. He and the other officials wearing black armbands in memory of a colleague, the Australian World Cup referee Andrew Cole, who died this week. Well, welcome to the team sculpt. No experimenting from Jacques Nienaber this time. This is a test the box simply can't afford to lose.
Yeah, the perception coming into this test series is their loss against Italy, the final game of the Six Nations, is going to be a bit of a walkover, but it's always been a struggle against Wales. It's always tight and we play the same kind of structures. Today the focus will be, let's dominate the physically, let's dominate the set beats, and let's kick the leather off the ball and play in the right areas.
Jamie, you're closer to the Wales camp than most for obvious reasons. What's the mood there?
Yeah, they're excited. Look, I think the challenge for Wales today is a psychological one more than anything, backing up a victory. You know, after that first test, you come into training Monday, you've lost the game, the motivation is set for you. Wales created history last weekend. Can they back up a victory with a similar performance this afternoon?
So just to confirm those very late alterations, one coming quite literally in the last 2 minutes before the players came out. Josh Navidi is on, he replaces Talupi Faletau, and Tain Basham comes onto the bench. One of two changes that were made 90 minutes or within 90 minutes of the start. And there, Josh Navidi getting his first start of the tour. The smoke clears. It really is one of those glorious Cape days, which, believe me, you do get in the middle of winter. The history, though, is that it's been quite wet, as it also tends to be at this time of year. And that sculpt will impact on the surface and certainly on the way this game is played. Its reputation, it's not a place you want to be scrummaging.
No, definitely not. And from our perspective, we would like to get the momentum in the scrums, put them under pressure, get penalties from the scrum. And last week we couldn't do that. The one thing I think from Wales' perspective, the kicking game is so important, putting high bombs on Jasper Wiese, and hopefully we can execute on that.
The timing spot on there, as it always used to be when you were throwing in at the line-out sculpt, because that went straight down the throat of Jasper Wiese, a man who seems to win Player of the Match awards whenever he takes to the pitch. It's happened in the first test up in Pretoria, and also in that English Premiership final when Leicester beat Saracens, your old club. There's Andre Pollard. Here's Willemse, the referee playing a penalty advantage here to South Africa. And we'll be coming back for that now.
Coming back. Tackle off the ground, 15. On your feet to tackle, please, Liam. On your feet.
Penalty against Liam Williams, who is just down on one knee over on the far side.
He's off his feet and he made a tackle.
It's certainly been a different training week, hasn't it, Jamie? Putting those bodies back together. It has to be a pertinent point. The box used all 42 squad members in the first fortnight. Wales simply don't have that luxury.
They don't, but they have to make their continuity in selection work in their favour. You know, the Springboks side has chopped and changed so much of the past 3 weeks. You know, Wales' continuity in selection, the only change through the 3 test matches has been on the wing. But Josh Adams obviously coming in now for Alex Cuthbert, who was injured in that second test. So, yeah, it's going to be a fascinating tussle. I think we've seen in the opening few minutes a carbon copy, really, of the opening 2 tests. A box kick into an open field bomb by the box. The box are winning the scraps at the minute.
Perfect, thank you.
There is Bongi Mbonambi. His 50th cap. He finds the other big fella in that second row, Lud de Jager. Lud de Jager, who recently departed the Sale Sharks. There is Mbonambi.
9. Use the ball.
There's Mbonambi releasing to Hendrikse. Powerful carry there into the 22. The Springboks, perhaps predictably, throwing the big fellas at that red defence. Bear in mind, the Springboks didn't score a try last week. The first time they hadn't scored a try in a test match at home for 6 years. Lukanyuam over the top to Mapimpi, and Mapimpi gets the first try. Matt Carley's just going across to check that there wasn't a foot in touch.
Just checking touch.
And they are checking that now, but after 3 minutes it would appear very likely that Makazole Mapimpi has opened his try account for South Africa in 2022.
Passing through them. Has this got electrocuted from that connected?
Well, let's see now. Oh, his foot's in touch. The television match official, Brett Cronin.
Yeah. And then the foot's on the line clearly when he's in possession,
Well,
no try. Coming back for the not rolling away from 4 with 1 in on the jackal. That's correct. Player away before we have a jackal, please, okay? No try. Roll away.
Well,
kick it goal.
Every now and again, teams need a bit of good fortune. Perhaps
no problem
Wales
with the
have just
jackal,
had
but you've got to make sure the tackler has shifted
Martin, last week
first
the
again.
discussion
4
within the
out
team
of the way
environment
before we
was
have the
we're
jackal.
getting in their 22. Why aren't we executing, or why aren't we scoring tries? And the focus this week, every time we get into the 22, go away with points.
Well, they will leave with some points, but it's not 5 or 7. It is just 3 off the boot of Andre Pollard. That's quite a pertinent point, because Wales in possession have been into the South Africa 22 just 5 times so far in the test matches, but gone away with 4 tries. Nice hanging restart. Rowland's got his hand to it.
Play on.
But in the end, it's ended up in the paws of Makazole Mapimpi. Here's De Jager. 2 huge men, both 2 metres tall in the second row for the Springboks. Pollard.
Thank you.
Teases down bigger. But it is Cheslin Colby who gets highest of all. Here's Pollard. Etzebeth. This is a far more confident start by the Springboks than we've seen in the first 2 tests.
Nika, play on.
No doubt about that.
Okay, no hands.
Absolutely crucial, Jamie, that Wales weather this early storm.
Yeah, no doubt they'll be disappointed with that first defensive set that led eventually to that penalty for Pollard. You know, you want to set the tone early in these test matches, first couple of minutes, that first set, really show what you're about. But the minute Boks are winning collisions and they're winning the aerial battle.
Not by much, but that kick just had a little bit too much depth on it.
Stationary on the side.
Makazole Mapimpi was flying down the wing there. Kieran Hardy. And he clears.
Not gone.
But he doesn't find touch, if that is what he was looking for. Just finds Andre Pollard. Willemse in pursuit, and Willemse has got there!
Advantage.
Well, that was quite superb from the fullback. There goes Mbonambi.
No release on the tackle.
The arm is out again from Matt Curley. Here's Jasper Wiese. Hendrikse. On to the captain, Khaleesi. Can they make it count this time? Cheslin Colby having to take that on the half volley. And in the end, it is the considerable presence of George North that takes him into touch. But again,
release him. He released the ball.
It
back
is
to his feet. You have to release him.
A penalty to South Africa. And as a World Cup winner 3 years ago, having seen the performance so far in the opening 7 minutes, you've got a rather broad grin there, Skull.
Yeah, why wouldn't I? We're playing with intent. We're dominating the physicality. And so far, this is what we wanted. We want to come here and execute when we get into the 22. So it's a great start for the Springboks.
Thank you. That's fine. That's fine.
And this is where
we'll play with the
they
numbers
are
then.
so dangerous.
Wales drop out 1.
We saw this in the early part of the second half up in Pretoria. Wales know what's coming. It's De Jager. Mbonambi has his hands on it now. Can Wales halt this drive from the men in green and gold? It's still moving, says Matt Curley. They're 3 metres out. Henriksen has it. He feeds it. Damien Dearlinde held up just short, although Matt Carley, I think, wants to take another look at that.
Yeah.
I think the issue is, before he was forced back, did he get it down on the line?
Round, he's short of the line, but the ball is on the ground. So we'll check. Brett,
go ahead.
On-field decision is no try. We got the ball on the ground, but neither of us got it clearly to the line. So
okay, so
check,
we've got
check for the grounding. If not, the ball is short for me, so it'll be a 5 metre scrum attack.
Okay, so it's an on-field no try. We'd be going back for a scrum. We'll check for grounding.
Well, I think, Scott, we should get a fairly clear view of this. It's this first touch, isn't it? Well, you heard the cheers in the crowd here, but I think it's probably fair to say that most of them are wearing green and gold eye patches.
Very close to the line
of course,
here, so this is probably going to be yours. It's a fine line decision.
It's just amazing
okay?
to be in Cape Town Stadium and seeing the unbelievable atmosphere.
The best angle now.
And on-field is no try.
Damien Willems is
clear, compelling evidence. Obviously, it'll be a try. If not, short 5
same
metre
with Damien
scrum.
Dearlinde.
Does that look short to you, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's short. I'll be amazed if that's given as a try. I think we've learnt in this opening 5 minutes the prime currency. There we are, the cheers are coming around. The prime currency in these Wales Springbok test matches are the aerial battle and collisions.
Yes,
you know, the box have set their stall out
on the line, so you need to go back to a 5 metre scrum to green.
Okay. No try.
Well, the on-field decision was no try, so we had to have definitive evidence that it did catch the line. And between them there, Brett Cronin, the television match official, and the 3 officials out there on the pitch, decided it's short, but it will be a 5 metre scrum, attacking ball, and this will be a chance here to see just how this pitch does react to a crucial scrum.
On-field decision was no try, so we didn't have compelling evidence, so we're short of the line, green ball. Nearly.
It really is quite a scene, isn't it?
Right, first scrum, good height.
Right
good
underneath
stability.
the City Bowl.
Patience
in the shadow of the
set.
mountain.
Martin, the big focus, mostly from the Springboks, is getting dominance from the hits, applying the pressure on the Welsh scrum, and if we can get that dominant, either scrum for the penalty or Jasper picks it up and runs straight at 10.
Set.
Well, let's see if this goes to script.
Too much movement, we'll set again. Too much movement, we will set again.
You can see they're trying to get that hit, aren't they?
We might need to meet in the middle, guys. Yeah.
Wongi Mbonambi, the 45th Springbok
Listen,
to have
both
played
sides
50
must
test
scrummage
matches.
over the mark. I'm not going to guess on that. Hold, and please come up and meet them. Here we go. I was happy with the standard.
There's Trevor Nyakane demonstrating his versatility. He was on the tight head side last week. This is 6th start in 56 test matches on the loose head side.
Set!
Well, there it is, and Jasper Wiese picks up. The referee's playing an advantage here to the Springboks. Taken forward by Peter Steph de Toy. Henriksen on here to Mbonambi.
Away 3, no 6, no!
Henriksen again.
Yeah,
Wiese this time.
Still on advantage from the scrum. Tackle!
Referee just reminding Wales
Away, red!
that it is a penalty advantage.
Ball is available. No,
There is the ball. Henriksen out to Pollard. Pollard tries to thread it through.
I understand it's penalty advantage, you know, the Boks want to try and score in the corner, but I think arguably over the last two tests, Wales have defended really, really well and smartly when there has been penalty advantage on their 5-metre line. There's so many times the Boks have had that penalty advantage, and Wales have just snuffed them out. And you know, they might end up conceding 3 instead of 7 skulk, but you know, the Springbok teams of the past would just keep knocking the door down, keep coming until they, you know, power their way over. You know, I hope we found that over the opening first test, because if I'm in that Welsh defence, I'm loving the fact they're trying to play to width there.
Yeah, personally, I want them to keep it tight. They run at the 10, run at the backs, make sure you get the momentum. And I think what was lacking last week was composure. We got in the 22, but somehow we built pressure and then we give it away by our own mistakes. From this scrum perspective, we would like France to get in front once again, get the hits, get the momentum, and then either scrum for penalty or make sure that Jasper can run on down.
But look how that pitch is coming up. It's coming up like an old rug, isn't it? Dylan Lewis had a long shift in the first test when Thomas Francis was injured, so he had to return there.
Please, not the negative binder, KP high.
He hurt his arm last week, so he was one of the injury doubts this time.
Nice and square.
Not quite sure what a contract with Wales on a tour like this is worth.
Bind!
But you can bet your bottom dollar Dylan Lewis will have earned whatever he gets paid by the end of today. Oh, that time it comes out, but the referee awarding the penalty against Gareth Thomas. Well, I think the pitch is making the scrums quite a mess, but there's no doubt who's on top, Skull.
2 at scrum.
It's for me fantastic to see the dark arts of the front row and moving from tighter to looser. Trevor's doing a great job. But as I said, we're winning that initial hit in the scrum and the engagement and trying to put pressure after that. So good so far, they would say.
Yeah. Where you're
South Africa leading by 3 points to 0. So 3 opportunities to take 3 points. They've been passed on. And once again, Wales in a reverse gear. The arm is out again.
Stop. Play.
Well, Hendrickse has gone, and the referee has let it happen. I think he was going to give a warning. Here's Pieter-Steph du Toit. Just a metre or so out. Lud de Jager.
Onside.
You have to admire the defence, but how long can it hold out? There it is again for Hendrickse. Hendrickse to Visa.
Ball was out.
Pieter-Steph du Toit tries to push down the door. Pollard himself goes, and in the end it's the new Leicester Tiger who gets the score, and South Africa have their first try of the match.
Yeah. I know.
Well, there are a couple of Welshmen down as well. One is Ryan Elias.
For the warning. Leave it with me. We'll see where the next scrum is.
I think the other Welshman who appears to be hurt is Dan Lydian.
Yeah, it's just Dan Lydian and Ryan Elias clashing heads there on that tackle. Unfortunately, rugby incident. Let's hope he's not too bad. Just a word for Dan Lydian. He's been immense, you know, in those first 2 test matches. You know, it'd be a shame to leave him, see him leave the field maybe, you know, after quarter an hour in this 3rd test, but to see him back at his best, you know, certainly last week he was He was unbelievable. His stopping power on the advantage line, especially against these big South African men, has been priceless for Wales on this tour.
Yeah, it was 18 tackles in just 59 minutes up at Bloemfontein. Defensively, he was such a crucial part, operating in tandem with Tommy Raphael. And Andre Pollard could almost turn on his heel the moment he made contact there. And the Springboks are into double figures. Well, Dan Lydiate, meanwhile, is leaving the pitch. He appears to have a bit of blood, I think, coming from his forehead, so it remains to be seen whether his change will be permanent. We are going to have a water break as well, which has come at a good time, I guess, for Wales. You may have recognised Felix Jones there in the foreground, the former Munster man, who's been working so successfully with South African rugby over the course of the last 2 or 3 years or so. Not a bad man to bring off the bench. Well, we can't say we weren't expecting it, Jamie.
Yeah, look, I think the Springboks haven't done anything different to the opening 2 tests. They've just done it very much better, and Wales aren't bringing what they have done in the first 2 tests. You know, that advantage line, the Springboks are winning collisions. You know, they've kicked well the box, they've competed in the air. We didn't see too much of that accuracy in the kicking game.
How many replacements
you know, competing in the air. We've seen Wales do it better over the course of the first 2 tests. Unfortunately for Wales, the Boks have, in this opening quarter of an hour, have done it extremely well.
Well, we saw Lewis Rees-Zammit there. 2 quick tries up at Pretoria. I'm not sure he's had his hands on the ball yet.
User! Taken in!
It really is a very different atmosphere in Cape Town to the one we had in both Pretoria
Good contest.
and in Bloemfontein. Good catch that from Liam Williams. There's Tommy Raphael. Straight into that huge back row. Alan Wynne-Jones, who brings the experience now of 153 caps for Wales. Chance for Tompkins to run. It was Dan Biggar who went back. And Adams who comes away. Adams, one of the 2 match winners last week. The only try scorer at Bloemfontein. Tompkins, chance here for George North to run. He's got Hardy inside him. This is so much better from Wales. Tompkins, Alan Wynne-Jones. Ryan Elias had to bend his back for that one. Long pass off the left hand there from Josh Adams. Now Lewis Rees-Zammit has got it. Certainly the fastest man in Cape Town
Ball
today.
was out. No, he lost his feet, didn't get a lift.
A loose pass picked up by Josh Adams again. Here's George North, gets round his man. Well, you have to say, he slipped on the surface there. Here's Josh Adams. Wales looking to bounce back. Navidi. Biggar onto Tompkins. Alan Wynne-Jones. George North did well to get rid of that. There's Liam Williams once again becoming a victim of the surface. Lewis Rees-Zammit. Well picked up there by Tompkins. Chance for Adams now. Adams up against Willemse. Willemse takes in, and there is Raphael. And Tommy Raphael has his first try in Test rugby. And how timely might that be for Wales?
Wonderful try for Wales through the phases. You know, I think we've seen George North touch the ball 2 or 3 times in space, recycling well, speed of ball, keeping the ball alive. God, there's more in that passage of the play than we've seen in the opening first 2 tests, Sal.
This is extremely frustrating as a Springbok supporter. They get in now 22-1 and they score a try. I must say from the beginning it was quite interesting why Wales would kick short from the kick-off. Both times they went short. This one is a bit deeper. The bomb diffuser, Liam Williams at the back catching it, and then slowly but surely building, breaking down our our defence, and well, just a great try.
One word of caution. Josh Adams, you can see there in the background with one knee heavily strapped. He's still down, you can see him there. Bottom left-hand corner of the screen getting some treatment. And Wales can ill afford to lose him now. Remember, Alex Cuthbert ruled out of this test match. Dan Biggar just knocking that one across the face, but Wales have their try, and how well worked it was. And once again, Jamie, Wales going into the Springbok 22 and coming away with a try. They've done that almost every time throughout the series.
They have, Martin, but they didn't start there. They started in their own half, and that attitude to risk. We saw a little 3-on-2 down this near side. Dan Biggar, I think in the opening first two tests, especially 20 minutes into a test match, they would have set that up for a box kick or kicked open off 10. They play ball in hand.
Inside.
That's going to set the templates with how Wales approach this match, no doubt.
Use it! No one! Don't pull them forward.
Hardy. Plenty of hang time on that. Jasper Wiese underneath it, who loses it forward. Chance here maybe for Dan Biggar. Look at Hardy coming at pace, but he left the ball behind.
How many of you want to ask me? Just, that's all right, no worries, no worries.
Well, we're going to come back for the scrum, which will be a Wales ball. There's plenty being said out there at the moment.
The whistle. Yeah, no worries. 2 knock-ons, Wales scrum. Nothing here, nothing here. No, it's all right. Yeah. It's Wales put in, time off. Man down. Okay.
I think it's Cheslin Colby who's now down, who's taken a bit of a knock. I wonder if the surface is playing a part, because we're seeing many players struggling to keep their feet. Josh Adams one moment, on the opposite wing we saw Liam Williams.
It is extremely hard from a defensive perspective to change direction if you commit to the tackle. And that's what I think Wales did extremely well. They moved the ball backwards, they played short, and they made it extremely difficult for the Springboks to change their line of defence.
Look at that view. That's Sea Point or Camps Bay.
I thought it was a bottle.
Most of the people from Cape Town are in here tonight. Colby going off. This is a little bit concerning. I don't know, he looks like he's taken a blow perhaps to the side of the face. Josh Adams just going across there to check up on him. And Billy LaRue is coming on now in his place. So both teams, there's a fair degree of attrition.
The one thing we haven't mentioned again is the 6-2 split. We can't afford another injury in the back line. It's that is a big loss for us.
Yes, just have to clear.
Kieran, nice and steady, then in, all right? Same as what I said.
Well, it's an interesting shift round now in personnel, because the Kanyuan may well have moved out onto the wing. Damien Willemse, who Chuck Nienaber described ahead of the first test, he's looking to be his new Francois Steyn. And now Willemse, at least defensively, moving into the 12 channel, with Dialindi moving out to 13.
Fine.
Yeah, Willemse has played quite a lot of his trade in the 12 jersey for Stormers this season. That's his position of favour this season, so...
Side-stepping across, number 1.
Well, a scrum penalty.
2 big side steps and then down to the floor,
going against the Springboks, and that one against Trevor Niakani.
2 big side steps and then to the ground, number 1.
There he is, one of the players who missed out a bit on the World Cup campaign, didn't he? You heard his, was it his knee, I think, during the first match against the All Blacks?
Okay. It was actually a hamstring, but it's just technically so hard to change from tight to loose head. On tight head, you scrum to the left, to the hooker. Yeah, at loose head, you need to scrum more inwards, and he took an angle to the outside that gave the advantage to Wales.
Picture your side, Gussie. I'll come. Your side. On the line. Yep. On the line, Trev. You've got to go forward
given
first.
The way the opening quarter of the match has gone, Wales would probably take that scoreline, wouldn't they, Jamie?
Number 4.
Yeah, no
on the
doubt.
line.
You know, they've got a wonderful
Number
try
4 on
from
the
multiple
line.
phases. Like, you know, the Boks have been in the 22 a few times and converted. So, you know, as the momentum swings back and forth against Wales, they just have to score points and make sure they take their opportunities. Here's another one.
Tackle.
A carry there from George North. Tompkins.
Knock-on advantage.
Well, Liam Williams, I think, complaining that maybe he was tackled before he had the ball in his hand. That's Willems who comes away with it.
Knock-on.
We are going to
No
come back for the
advantage
knock-on. Might be worth another look if we get one.
Timing was
The
okay
pictures
for
here
us.
being provided by the host broadcaster.
I think Matt Carley was stood right next to it, wasn't it? You see a lot of the
As the press
Wales
is coming,
players
stepping. If you want the
with their
ball,
arms
go
up in
for
frustration.
first.
Nick Tompkins being one of them,
Here's the
trying to
mark.
have a chat with Angus Gardner down here. Like, it's one of those tackles, isn't it? They're playing front door, you're waiting for it, and Dialende timed that
Let's
to
go.
perfection.
Form up, please.
I think it's worth pointing out that for all the achievements earlier in the day of Ireland and England, none of the home nations have ever won a test series in South Africa. Of course, the British and Irish Lions have done that. The only other countries that have come here and won a test series, France have done it on 2 occasions, and the All Blacks,
Set.
that in the aftermath of South Africa's first World Cup triumph in 1995. The All Blacks, captained by Sean Fitzpatrick then. Well,
Overextended, number 3.
Jaden Hendrickse was looking to take a quick one, but it's Dylan Lewis who's been penalised.
2 against both props, okay? The tight head needs his feet further up and the loose head needs to stay square, okay?
Do you want to just speak to him about that?
Well, it's the 4th
Feet
scrum
further up, but
penalty
that's 2 against each prop.
against
Yeah,
Wales,
but it's not
which
an
has
excuse.
prompted that little
We need
chat
the feet up and we need
between
square.
Dan
That's
Biggar
2
and Matt
against each.
Carley.
Be very careful.
Wayne Pivac did point out in our discussion before the match that he had spoken to
We'll try and
Matthew
play a
Carley
box.
and
I
was
didn't see the
asking
ball.
for a little bit of latitude for the front rows, particularly when you consider the reputation that this pitch has. And
On the
as we look
assistant,
around,
thank
Scott, you can see, you can identify where the scrums have been.
It is tearing up, and it's. I would hope that Matt would give us more leniency to get the game going, but it's quite a stop-start kind of thing from a scrumming perspective.
Nico Mushakeli is the assistant on the far side. He was the man who
Free up the
refereed the
side.
opening test up in Pretoria.
Still
Umbanambi
the same maul.
walking it forward. Dylan Lewis
Side entry
coming
again.
straight in from the side. Pollard. Mapimpi floats it out, just asking a bit too much of Lekanyoam. Well, it was an unforced penalty there from Dylan Lewis. And let's listen
Not
in.
just 4 at the scrum, we got 4 in general play and 3 went in the side twice there, so the warning is for everything now, okay? Discipline, yeah, discipline needs to be better, we need to see
I
a
think
change.
it's fair to say that if Wales are penalised inside the next 5 minutes, they may be down to 14, Jamie.
Yeah, it's through on the bounce and Dylan Lewis there. You heard Matt Carley speaking, running the penalty, and actually twice in that maul he infringed coming in from the side. So we know what's coming. Kit to corner, and you know they have to now defend the maul. We speak about allowing entries in rugby, and that's a classic example. Yes, you might be losing a bit of momentum in a maul or in the contact area, but the worst thing you can do is give away a penalty. It just allows teams to apply pressure, and lo and behold, Springboks, 15 metres out now from the
On your
Welsh
front
line,
man,
and the
please,
Welsh
Wales.
lads will know another penalty under pressure resulting in a yellow card. So this is a glorious opportunity for South Africa to score points.
So the line out,
Come on!
15 metres out. South Africa in possession.
And that's a green player on the floor.
It's their
Still the
4th
same
visit
maul.
into the Wales
One stop,
22.
same maul. Screen down again, I see.
At the moment, Wales doing rather well to defend it,
Use
but
it!
it's in the possession of Jasper Wiese.
No hands! Okay, he was first.
Well, it's
he was
been
first.
turned by Wales.
He was first.
There it is for Kieran Hardy.
Hold,
Lewis
hold,
Rees
no.
Salmon.
Stop. Stop. All onside.
Andre Pollard. Inside to Billy LaRue. LaRue being pursued by Tompkins. Good chase from Tommy Raffel. Hendrickson out to Mapimpi.
Ball was out, play on.
Penalty to Wales.
Diving on the ball, emerging. We had a ruck, it's still within a metre, you can't dive on the ball, you must stay on your feet.
Well, as much as Wales are being stretched, Jamie,
Diving on the emerging ball, number 1.
there are little nuggets, I think, that maybe give a sense that there is a chance that the momentum might shift in their favour.
I'm not quite sure who had the Wales turnover there, but what a vital turnover, all that momentum coming on the Welsh try line and, well, certainly the Welsh 5-metre line, and they managed to get the ball back. You know, it's those moments that win test matches. You know, that's arguably a 7-point save. And if Wales can have enough of them in this match and be in this game come 50, 60, 70 minutes, we know what can happen.
Time for a water break.
Jamie, just from a attacking perspective from the Springboks, I would love to see something a bit different. We had a couple of entries into the 22 and we were mauling every opportunity. That was about 15, 20 out. Bring something different, let the Welsh guess, and hopefully then for the next time we enter, then we maul. That from that perspective, bring a bit of diversity to the attack.
Yeah, well, look, it's taken 3 test matches to work out that running straight through the guts of Wales is bread and butter for the Welsh defence. You know, that's what the Welsh thrive on, this defence coached by Gethin Jenkins. They're tough, they're resilient, they make their tackles, they hate losing the advantage line. Yes, there's been a few occasions early in this half, but through the course of the test series, they've been immense on the advantage line. You have to find ways to try and dent that line differently than just hitting one-up runners, and we've seen that from the box in this opening quarter. I'd like to see Bialende carry more, carry more. Yes, Willemse is now at 12. Just maybe shifting that attack point a bit wider away from those red jerseys. I think they'll probably get a few more dents because this Welsh defence is pretty resilient.
There is Jacques Ninaba, and Ninaba certainly has been in the spotlight during the week. A couple of the more respected people involved with South African rugby this week have taken a bit of a pot shot at him. Jake White, World Cup winning coach in 2007. Schaltberger Senior, we all know about Schaltberger Junior, but there'll be many people who are perhaps unaware that his father was a rather good bock as well. Both have been critical of the Springbok setup. It certainly raised the temperature. They're the side very much under pressure today. There's Bigger, George North. Wales have certainly been the more clinical of the two sides throughout the series. George North. There's Liam Williams. Oh, and Josh Navidi had certainly overrun it out wide.
Yeah, you're good.
Jamie, what I love about the Welsh side is they're taking chances. They put the intent to move the ball, even with a wet pitch like this. They're putting the South African defence under pressure.
They do, and there's space to width. There's space to width. Maybe it's not through long loopy passes, but we've seen the intricacy. You know, the front row players put those little balls at the back, followed by another little ball at the back. You know, and if you're sticking those defenders, you're going to preserve width outside. And if the Wales lads hold their width in attack like that, they're going to create opportunities. So expect Wales to play similarly to that throughout the course of the match.
That was a good catch from Lewis Rees-Zammit. Ghazali Mapimpi was out of the blocks very quickly, perhaps a little bit too quickly for my eye.
Use it!
There's Gareth Thomas, the impromptu scrum half. Ten minutes to go to half-time. The deciding test in Cape Town.
Back off red.
Well gathered by Raffel. There's Alan Wynne-Jones. Oh, 2 grabs taken by Dan Bigger. That may have come as a bit of a surprise to Gareth Thomas. Bigger Finds some
onside.
space. Billy LaRue is coming
10 was the
across.
kicker.
It sits up nicely for the fullback.
Inside.
Once again, a good chase though from Wales.
Yeah, that's a good win for Wales. Gives them an attacking line out. You know, just this side of the Springboks 40-metre line. Wales kind of lost their shape a little bit there, didn't they? But they're winning the scraps in the air. You know, I think the first 10 minutes, the Boks kicked to competed really well. But on that occasion, Kieran Hardy again, he's been immense. The opening first 2 tests, and certainly this first half hour, the hang time, the length of kick is allowing the chasers to disrupt, get up in the air, win the scraps, play a few phases. Nice little kick from Dan Biggar there, found some space. Force a shallow exit from Willie LaRue, and now Wales, you know, it is again they have this attacking line in there.
Well, the fans who have bought their tickets being rewarded. There are quite a few South Africans at this moment who won't be able to watch the game. We've got, you may have read about it in the newspapers, load shedding, which is planned power cuts to preserve the energy supply, and we were told that the company who have a monopoly on the production of energy here in South Africa, a company called Eskom, had actually planned some of these power cuts for round about kick-off time.
Mark to the front. Hang on, time's still off. Time on.
So there's probably more people in Wales watching this than in South Africa, certainly on television at least. Reece Amick off his left foot.
Thank you.
That's well placed.
So 50-22.
Well, Matthew Carley, I think, is just going to check on that.
Carried back in.
Matt Carley said that it was taken back in from the line out. That's the catch when it comes to 50-22s. If you're taking it back into your own half, they don't count.
There on the mark, Gus. Thank you.
Sia Khaleesi, the tackle from Josh Navidi.
Good contest, no hands now.
South Africa finding themselves back in their 22. Wales have the backfield covered.
7.
And it's a penalty
You pushed him. Keep your hands
against
by your
Peter
side if you want to
Steph
stand
du
there.
Toit. He was standing in the guard position, but he was giving somebody a bit of a nudge. Well, Dan Biggar feigning to go for the corner, but I've got no doubt Jamie he'll call for the kicking tee here.
That's a gimme for Wales, isn't it? Easy 3 for Dan Biggar, right into the sticks. Peter Steph will be bitterly disappointed with that. If we have a look here, you're allowed to stand there. Alan Wynne comes to compete, you're not allowed to impede that player. You've got to let him make his challenge.
Locals have seen it on the big screen, they don't like it. I suspect, Scott, that not all of them know the laws.
I think we're quite biased towards the Springbok side. But just from Wales' perspective, they're playing very clever. They don't muck about between the 10s. If they don't get momentum, they put it behind us. I think at the moment they're just being very precise in their execution, and they know they're executing the game plan to precision.
The deficit just 2 points. Bit by bit, nibble by nibble, Wales getting their way right back into the match. And let's face it, Jamie, had Wales given away 3 points like that, you'd be fuming, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely livid. You know, that's a great word by Lukamia.
Here's Niakani. Kieran Hardy was a little bit slow to get back to his feet there. Hendrickson, du Toit.
Tackle away, no hands!
The Springboks clearly anxious to stop the bleeding here. Jasper Wiese. Well, once again, it is a ferocious defensive effort from Wales.
He's not on the ball.
It really was a characteristic of their entire performance in Bloemfontein last week. Billy LaRue. Josh Adams making the tackle that time.
Step back at the guard.
Another carry from Wiese. He was chopped down there by Thomas. Pollard. Once again, the tackles coming in thick and fast from Wales. Mapimpi trying to cut inside Lewis Rees-Zammit. Visa again. And the loose pass in the end from Hendrickson. Well, it went forward, so the referee will be playing an advantage, but I think somebody has taken a bang to the head there. And it may well be a Welshman.
First thing he did was hold his head, okay?
This could be a high shot, Martin. In slow-mo, I've got a feeling this is not great for the Springboks.
Well, it's Nick Tompkins who has taken the bang to the head.
Okay, so on field we got him on the ground almost when the contact happened, Brett.
Well, it's Makazole Mapimpi.
Okay. So we do have head contact as the player is falling, so it's a penalty only, okay? Big mitigating factor onto the body and then onto the head as well. So it would have started at yellow.
Well, the referee...
Mitigating factor was the second tackler. Okay.
Well, he says he started at a yellow, but he's decided there's some mitigation, which takes it down just to a penalty. Okay. And
it's a penalty. You're being tackled, you are falling, body, then onto head.
Across the southern hemisphere over the course of the last couple of weeks, that's been a bit of a feature, hasn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, it has, and it's these sorts of discrepancies in decision that frustrates supporters, ex-players, you know, everyone in the media. We watch these games of rugby. He's made that decision very quickly, Matt Carley. He's seen it once, happy days. Other referees sometimes scrutinise that decision to the nth degree. He's obviously a very experienced referee. I've seen yellow cards given for those. And yeah, there we are. I'll say no more.
Up on the line or a bit further?
Let's take another look.
Make yourself a mark, good. Stay there. Up, please. South Africa, front man.
Perhaps the strange thing there is that Tompkins' reaction was actually at the point of the first contact, wasn't it?
Pace is good. South Africa.
Which rather suggests it was his head that was hit first.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, most importantly, he's fine and he stays on the park.
Tackle, move! Thank you.
So, a little more than 4 minutes to go.
Count is good. The ball
in this
is there.
first half. Just 2 points between the sides.
Counter was good. They went past the ball. Tackle.
Alan Wynne-Jones there with the tackle. Alan Wynne-Jones, who's come off the bench in 2 tests here. And now Khaleesi, and there's some space. Khaleesi going himself. For a moment was clear. There's Hendrickson. It's Eben Etzebeth, the Centurion. The penalty advantage is being played, and now Kieran Hardy is down again.
Come here.
Well, this might be worth a listen because well, things still going on out there.
Put the ball down.
And I got the impression that Matt Carley wanted a word with Damon Dialindi at one point.
Move away. Move away. Come here. Where's 12?
Now Damon Dialindi is being called forward.
Stay there. Josh, just stand there for a sec. Okay, see ya. Dan. We had a clear deal before the game. The stuff off the ball wasn't going to happen. Now you're on penalty advantage, and I see these two players grappling with each other off the ball, okay? I've stopped the game, you've lost your advantage. We'll come back for the original penalty, but let's be clear, that stops now. Okay, both sides. Okay, we're coming back for the offside. You've had a good spell, Dan, but that's an offside and the warning's back on, okay? Where's the offside, Nika?
Well, Damien Dialindi gets a talking to, and Dan Biggar is told that the warning is back on. In other words, another penalty
on the line
in the next couple of minutes, and Wales are losing a player.
On the line.
Good to see we've got ourselves a bit of fisticuffs. Who'd have thought it? Wales v Springboks deciding test. It was always going to happen, wasn't it? You know, how much these lads are putting on the line to win this test series. Expect that niggle to remain throughout the game. And you're right, Martin. Big moment in the game, this.
Well, I think even I know, Scott, what's going to happen here, but I'll let you talk us through it.
Well, let me guess. Wigan them all. It is quite interesting that we haven't taken the points. We've entered the 22 a lot, and we haven't taken the points.
One out.
Umbanambi finds Ludiyaga. It is now with Umbanambi. Umbanambi, who got his 10th test try up in Pretoria. He's got his eyes on an 11th, and he has it. Well, the mud was being kicked up behind that Springbok maul. A bit like one of those 22-runner 5-furlong handicaps in heavy going at Hamilton Park. But the thoroughbred who got through in the end, well, it was Bongi Umbanambi.
It was such a perfect setup from Ludiyaga taking it, setting the maul perfectly, and the heights. If you always look at the heights and the direction of the players, you need to get underneath the opposition, and that was just a perfect work maul.
The great thing for the Springboks, Martin, is that field position pressure came from them actually playing the ball to width, and we haven't seen that too much from the Test series in the box. Playing to width with good shape and good structure, finding a far 15, bringing their players to depth and to width, and having good tight passes, intricate pull-out passes. The same thing as I was discussing, Wales are causing the box problems. The box did exactly the same there, which got them into the Wales, 10 metres out from their try line, penalty, pressure shows. So the box, when they do have opportunity to play the width, they can get there. It's just we're not seeing it often enough from them.
Well, South Africa have now just moved through the 1,000-point ceiling against Wales. And they have a 9-point lead. The catch there from Ludiyaga.
Taken in. Number one, that's enough from you.
The last minutes of the first half.
Thank you.
Hendrickson has sent that up very high. Liam Williams timing his jump well.
He's not on the ball.
There's Repay. What a season he's had. That's Will Rowlands, and it's been stolen.
Backwards by Green.
Dialindi threads it through. Am is after it. The Kanyuam. Well, that perhaps was fortunate for Wales, because Am had first run on Josh Adams, and I have to say Josh Adams didn't appear to be catching him. But what a turnover that was from Kwaka Smith.
Outside the 22. It's important, else it might be a 50-22. It's outside the 22. Just wait, please.
A few tired bodies out there, Martin. I've seen Louis Samet tracking back there. He's doesn't look too comfortable. Neither did Josh Adams there. Well, these lads are pretty battered and bruised in the first two tests.
Two.
A catch there from Adam Beard.
That's a sack.
We're into the red numbers, and I think
fine.
Kieran Hardy here will just get this out, which is what he does. It's been a very eventful first 40. The deciding test in the shadow of the mountain here in Cape Town. And that try from Bongi Umbanambi, almost on the stroke of half-time, has given the box a little bit of daylight. But Wales are still in it. The series is up for grabs.
Roberts and Martin Gillingham.
Well, Dowie Lake and Sam Wainwright have come out at the start of this second half. And remember the alterations that were made before the game. Talupi Palatau picking up a very late injury. He was replaced by Josh Navidi. And here come the Springboks. Well, Jamie, Wales still very much in this match and the series. But I tell you what, it's not quite Table Mountain they've got to climb, but it's certainly uphill, isn't it, in this last 40?
Yeah, it is, but like the first two tests have panned out, the momentum is going to swing back and forth during this next 40 minutes. You know, the box, we've seen what they're about in that first half, a lot of one-off carries. If Wales can be really, really disciplined in the way they defend, not allow the box entries, and be efficient, that's the key word, efficient, when they attack the Springboks 22, and they have done that in the first half, we've got a serious test match on our hands here come the last 10 minutes.
Ready now? Okay.
So we're all set to go. The last 40 in the season of these men in red. And Scott, let's be honest, that try right at the end of the first half, crucial for South Africa. And what will they be looking to do in the opening 10 or 15 minutes of this second half?
I guess from a tactical perspective, that would not change.
They would not want to be giving a penalty.
Move your body position when he was in a good position.
So it's a 9-point gap.
7, clear release onto the ball.
Peter Steph du Toit, who has had a wretched time with injuries over the course of, well, pretty much all his career, really, the former World Player of the Year. Hurt that shoulder on this ground during the Lions series almost a year ago. Had his first start back in green and gold in Bloemfontein, and there he is, giving away that penalty right at the start of this second half.
Coach killer, isn't it? I think that's what they call it. Absolutely another gimme for Wales. How many times in the training week do you practice those exits, making sure your body position's in the right place? You know, credit Sam Wainwright, wonderful turnover to get his hands there. But, you know, that is going to kill Jacques Nionard. They'll be devastated with that one if this goes over.
Straight through the middle from Dan Biggar, against the background of almost silence, really. But Wales into double figures and within a converted try of the lead. So Pollard with the restart. Navidi gathers in.
Yeah. User inside. Don't pull them forward.
Kieran Hardy there getting his third consecutive start. Impressed off the bench for Wales during the Six Nations. Scored that try against England at Twickenham. It is a position, Jamie, that Wales do have real depth, don't they? World-class depth. Gareth Davis is on the tour. I've seen him walking around the hotel and he's had no involvement.
Yeah, and he's a British and Irish line, Gareth. You know, it is serious depth. Thomas Williams, you know, whether he comes on during this 80 or not, there is depth there, and there's also depth back in Wales. You know, if those guys aren't fit too. So, yeah, it's you know, blessed in the scrum half position.
Parker Smith with the carry forward. That was arm out to Hendrickse. Hendrickse with a chance to prove his pace. On to Lukanyu Arm with the step. And South Africa have another try. And now there really is daylight between these sides. Well, Hendrickse,
I think that's forward.
Hendrickse comes here with a big billing, but Matthew Carley has called to see that again.
Okay, Brett, so we're looking at the last pass, yes? First of all, was the foot in touch? Was that an issue? Because I think he's near the touchline before he passes the ball.
I can confirm the player is not in touch,
Okay.
so it's just the pass.
Show me the first angle that we saw of that pass on the screen, please.
Well, you've got to bear in mind that he has no forward momentum at all, Jamie.
For us, we believe his hands are pushing the ball forward, so we're going to come back for the forward pass, and it's going to be no try.
Well, you heard it
And
there.
the mark is 15
And that is an
metres
important
out on
point,
the
isn't
5
it?
metre
Isn't
line.
it? When a player has
No
no
try.
forward momentum,
Forward
you
pass.
can't use the momentum argument.
Yeah, but the other side of the argument is you look at the lines on the pitch from the camera angle, it actually looks level, but you're right. Forward, hands are moving forward. I thought that was a forward pass, and when we saw it, and fair play to Dan Bigger,
Here we are, guys.
you know, planted the
Yeah, we'll
seed in
come
Matt
to the
Carley's
side.
ear as it after just he's rewarded the try. So Wales left the hook there.
Feet up, good height, okay?
Well, it was Makazole Mapimpi right at the start of the match. Now
Good
it's the
personnel.
pass
Patience on the red ball.
from the scrum half, Jaden
Let's go.
Hendrickson. Lekanyuam denied.
Just be patient. You're way too far back. They've come up to the mark. So we can all shift if you really want, or we can just settle down. Thank you.
Tell us what's going on here, Skull.
I'll try,
Well,
yeah.
from South Africa's perspective, we would want Trevor to come up, put the flankers on 10's foot, put pressure on the kick. So once again, make sure that the dip is good, the pressure is good, and then apply pressure from the word go.
Sam Wainwright has only had a handful of appearances
Stand
for
onto his knee
Saracens
first,
in
number
the
one.
Gallagher Premiership. And he's done rather well there because the penalty is against Trevor Nyakane. And Frans Malherbe just getting a little hot underneath that golden
No,
collar of
down
his.
to his knee first. That caused it to shift.
Well, you can't see it on the screen at the moment, but I can see three rather large fellas in green and gold wearing the numbers 16, 17 and 18. So the fuse has
1,
been
2,
lit.
3, replacement.
The bomb
Come on,
squad
guys.
have arrived.
Yeah, the nickname of the squad was Fire and Ice and the Hulk, and they've entered the fray.
Right, put names to each of those three for us, Skull.
Okay, Fire,
Down the line.
you know, with Kitsy, Ice,
the
Vincent
line.
Koch and the Hulk, Malcolm
Time on.
Marx.
Out the line. Out the line.
Here's Dowie Lake, who had one or two problems with his
In you come,
throwing in
please,
up
Adam.
at Bloemfontein. He made his name up at Pretoria with that glorious try when Wales had just 13 on the pitch. And now they have a free kick.
Number
And
17.
time and again, Skulk, we're seeing penalties, in this case a free kick. And from a coach's perspective, they're
step,
entirely
the line.
unnecessary.
Jock would go absolutely crazy. The first start of the second half, we make a mistake, give them a
Into his own
3
man, but
points,
play backwards,
and
all
now the same.
backwards.
Well, that was a catalogue of errors as well from the men in green and gold. Hardy with a change of direction,
advantage
floats
offside
it over
green.
the top. Bit of space here for Adams. There's a penalty advantage being played as well. The Springboks have come offside.
Penalty advantage
Here's Gareth
offside.
Thomas. What a moment this could be. There he
Wales
goes,
the
Sam
mark, Mika,
Wainwright.
how far out?
Dowie Lake,
10 metres back from here, okay, we'll keep
such a
playing.
powerful carrier. It's a shot to nothing here for Wales. They definitely have the penalty coming. Hardy, Rowlands, that was the attempt at the offload, but the ball went forward. But we will come back for the penalty.
Offside.
And it's pretty much straight in front. It's 30 odd metres out. And Jamie, when it's a test match, it's a series
15
decider,
offside.
you take the points.
No doubt, and look, the box, 3 infringements in a row there, Skulk. We talk about backing up errors, scrum penalty, line-out free kick, offside penalty, 3 points, you know, shot a goal for Dan Bigger. You know, those, it's successive penalties, isn't it? It's not just the one-off ones that hurt you. It's when you do 2, 3, 4 on the bounce.
It's totally the opposite what we had in the first half. I think the Springboks were putting Wales under pressure, but by our own doing, we put the pressure by ourselves, and that was what I felt was lacking in the second test match. If I don't mind under pressure that we make mistakes, but we can't make the mistakes ourselves, like just normal practice field errors that we're making.
Well, when they start booing and cheering, you know the crowd are getting worried. And Dan Biggar has taken the chance, and now Wales trail by just 3. What a test series this has been. The first test match up in Pretoria, which Wales feel that they threw away. The Springboks will probably feel similarly after the second, and here we have the decider at the foot of Africa.
That's enough, that's enough. Use it.
A little more than half an hour to go. Kieran Harden. That one on Billy LaRue, that neat step, and now the burst of pace, and the culture little chip ahead, and Liam Williams at his best, falls, slides, picks it up, and gets back to his feet all in one movement. 2 truly world-class fullbacks there, one in attack, the other in defence.
I was going to say, truly world-class pieces of play as well in succession. We are being treated here.
Good contest. Use it.
Hardy charged down by Etzebeth. Oh, Wales living dangerously.
Hold.
And a rather panic kick there from Tompkins. It's now in the hands of LaRue again. The pass to Am. Makazole Mapimpi is signalling over here on the left wing. Pollard missing out Willems of Peter Steph to Toy out of the back of the hand to Dear Lindy. The crowd once again have rediscovered their collective voices. Etzebeth, the Centurion, takes on another in Alan Wynne-Jones.
No.
Malcolm Marks. Here's Hendrickson. Pollard. There are plenty of green and gold jerseys. That was Vincent Koch.
15.
Wales have to release him. And then it's stolen by Wales.
We need to check if he plays.
And they've done it successfully. The locals don't like it, but I tell you what, Wales will be out of their seats at this.
Counter's good.
The counter up there from South Africa wins the penalty.
18, entry and off feet.
And the reaction of that man there in the crowd rather suggests he's from Belleville rather than Bridgend.
For me, the ball is lifted and he played the hand, not the ball. He was
But
in
you
the
can see Damien Willems down.
And he's on his feet, he's fine.
And
clearly knocked out the hands forward.
the point you were making in the first half, South Africa, the 6-2 split, which has become their way, and they've already lost one backline player, so it's Faf de Klerk waiting in the wings. Should Willems have to go off?
Martin, I've got no idea who are they going to play where now if Faf has to come on. But I must say, Jamie, the scramble defence of the Welsh side is phenomenal.
We'll take the water break while the player's injured.
Well, we've not got to that point yet, but Faf has got a fair turn of foot. I reckon they might revert if they have to do it, to bringing Dear Lindy back into the midfield and sticking Faf out on the wing.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? Scal, back to your point, we spoke about it in the first half, when the pressure really comes on the Welsh try line, their defence has been immense. You know, I think maybe in times before, the South African juggernaut is used to just battering its way over the try line. You know, this Welsh defence throughout the course of the Test series, not just in today's Test match, you know, their scramble, their effort, their desire to hold out the opposition has been absolutely monumental, and has arguably kept them in all 3 Test matches.
Well, we do have one scrum half coming off the bench. That's Thomas Williams. He'll replace Kieran Hardy. And Faf de Klerk is stripped off and ready to go, as you might expect.
Tackle!
Damien Willems, who's just one of 4 Boks to have been involved in all 3 Test matches so far. And in the end, he proved the match winner up in Pretoria. He will be desperate to stay out there. 17 points to 14.
Very good. On the line, please, gents. On the line. On the line. Goal line, thank you.
Martin, this is a massive set for the Springboks. I guess the driving ball is coming again. This can be the deciding moment in the second half.
Well, Burns is up. He's got some very bright white bandage around his right ankle. I think we can only assume he's turned his ankle there, which I think he knows as a player that if he is to get through it, he's just got to keep running. You sit down too long with one of those, it becomes too painful. But there is Malcolm Marx. We saw this up in Pretoria. Are we going to see it again? Marx, oh, and that ball went forward.
Not forward. You lost control on the floor.
Well, Scott Gibbs made the point locally, and Scott Gibbs is a man, former Wales centre obviously, but he's got a strong connection to this part of the world. He said this week about Malcolm Marx, it's a bit like the Thriller in Manila. And what happens is, after 14 rounds, you get a big heavyweight coming on throwing punches, and you simply can't stay out of the way of them, and that's said it's what it's like for Wales when this man Malcolm Marx comes off the bench. As a replacement, there probably is no player like him in the world. And is that man Malcolm Marx has got the ball tucked underneath his right arm. Look how the pitch is cutting up. They've done it well again of Wales, but the danger still remains. There it is for Hendrickson. Pollard is waiting for it. Another surge forward by the heavy artillery. Kwagga Smith this time. Important tackle there from Dowie Lake. Khaleesi, the captain. Hendrickson again, onto Pollard. Pollard just trying to ghost his way through. Just 2 metres out. On to Stephen Kitsoff.
Not with your hands!
The bomb squad fully involved, but in the end it's the captain, and it is Siya Khaleesi. How appropriate is that? And South Africa are up to an 8-point lead, which may shortly become 10.
I love the patience that the Springboks showed getting in the Welsh 22. They were patient, the maul didn't work, they took it all the way to the other side and back again. Eventually with defence, if you got momentum on attack, if you get momentum, keep the momentum going, keep the forward ball, and that was a great execution by the Springboks.
We didn't see them go wide, did we? We didn't see them just play wide, just thinking, right, there's space there. Wales were always going to come high and defend. Carry after carry after carry, relentless. Siya Khaleesi probably a bit wider there as well, a few phases before, gets them that bit of momentum. We almost saw Pollard go over, but you know, Wales will be disappointed that with their repel time after time. I think Mick Tompkins maybe got a little bit too high there on the try line on Khaleesi, and you know, you're not stopping a man of that power if you're going high.
So Andre Pollard, the simplest of tasks. The Boks lead by 10. We have 26 minutes remaining.
Seven, replacement.
So a change coming here from Wales.
Okay, keep time on, please.
And the try scorer Tommy Raffel leaves us. And it is Taine Basham.
Timing,
He was
guys,
one of
thank you.
those 24th men during the warm-up period, and now finds himself involved in the series decider.
Use it!
Quality player is Taine Basham, burst on the scene November, real punchy carrier. You know, expect Wales to try and get the ball in his hands as much as possible, either in the tight phases or maybe in the wider channels. He's got pace, he's powerful, perfect guy to bring on. You know, 25 minutes left in this test match.
Yeah, but last one you moved with him.
There have been many stunning views around this part of Cape Town over the course of the evening. There is Taine Basham.
Stay now.
It's not straight. And Dowie Lake did have problems with his throwing in.
Option.
He was accurate with just 2 from 6 last week in Bloemfontein.
Scrum line out. One. Replacement.
And the first line out has been lost by either side in the match, and on comes a British and Irish line, Wyn Jones. He replaces Gareth Thomas, who's had a fantastic tour.
Strong binds, gents, strong binds.
He's been brilliant, Gareth Thomas, this tour. I think Dan Lydiate gets a lot of the plaudits for those sort of tackles. Gareth Thomas, equally, some of the shots on the advantage line of the last 2 weeks have been unreal. He's really put in a great shift for Wales in this Test series.
Set! Okay, whoa. Okay, hang on. My fault. Okay, my fault. You put yourself in a dangerous position if you move on the bind like that, okay? Okay.
There is Sam Wainwright. Came into the squad following the injury to Leon Brown.
So once we get to the bind, stay down.
And I think last season he was on loan at the English Championship club Ampthill.
Crouch!
It has been quite an elevation to now find himself cheek by jowl with Stephen Kitsoff, one of the great loose heads in world rugby.
Stay inside.
And there is a penalty for the Springboks.
Penalty advantage.
Willemse with a kick pass really meant for Mapimpi. It's gone there to Rhys Sammet. Matthew Carley blows his whistle. Billy LaRue just getting a little hot under the collar with Lewis Rhys Sammet.
Thank you, Nico.
I think Sam Wainwright's rapid progression in the game is a great example to young players. You know, often you become a senior player, scout young players who get frustrated, they're not involved week in, week out, they like to have a bit of a moan. You know, I'm not involved in the game, whatever. Yes, you've got to bide your time as a young player to get your opportunity, but his is a really good lesson. You know, you're playing your trade at maybe a level below, you know, Premiership level. They can get a little sniff around the Premiership in England, and this can happen quickly. You know, at Test level, players in front of you go down, affords you an opportunity, and he's taking it really well.
Yeah, they've had a few people to learn from at Sarries, though, weren't he, Scott?
Yeah, I think Vincent is fantastic, and the culture between the boys is a teaching culture. So I can't wait to see them playing against each other. Yeah.
Say more. Stop once.
Well, it's a fairly straightforward game plan that the Boks often use, but my word, is it effective. That's Willemse. Hendrickson. Here's Billy LaRue. Mapimpi got through the first tackle, and in the end he's dragged into touch, so Wales will have the throw in.
It's great work from George North and Lewis Rhys Sammet there, dragging them out, using the touchline in their favour. The Boks will be disappointed with that.
South Africa. No, that's not a reason to step in the middle.
Poor old Dowie Lake. His heart must be pounding.
After a maul like that, Scott, it's cardinal sin running into touch, isn't it?
Okay, good gap.
I would say the forwards are fuming.
Well, that worked well for Dowie Lake.
Advantage, 22 underneath.
And now
21,
they've got a penalty advantage. And there goes
penalty
Basham.
advantage red.
Thomas Williams for a moment saw a little chink of light.
Still penalty
Adam
advantage
Beard
red.
plays scrum half, looks one way and the other, then goes back again. There's Owen Watkin.
That's good there, but we're coming back. 21 underneath them all.
So the penalty going against Elric Lowe.
Lapse.
Not too much
21.
new blood coming through at the the moment with South Africa. Bear in mind, 11 of the starting 15 today played in the World Cup final.
In on the line, Nika. Yep, send them on.
Some tired bodies out there, Martin. I'm just looking at the body language of the players. Wales look a bit more energised to me than the Springboks. The Springboks, yes, they've mauled quite a lot. They've relied on these carriers to carry a lot of time. Eben Etzebeth coming off the field, Martin.
Yeah, it's Eben Etzebeth. His 100th cap, and he gives way. I said Elric Lowe there, he was actually referring to Kwaka Smith, who is wearing 21. Franco Mostert now on for Etzebeth. There's Williams, gets it well through the hands. Great step from Adams. Dialindi comes across. Look at the green and gold jerseys. Here's Dewi Lake, on to Bigger. And the penalty against Wales, it's Sam Wainwright, who came in from the side.
18, side entry, pulling the jackler off his feet. Pulled him to floor, he's in a strong position, you came from the side. Well, you don't want it? You still there? All right.
Damien Willemse appears to be looking over to the sideline. I think he wants to come off. Indeed he is, I think, while we're looking here at Liam Williams down getting some treatment, but Faf de Klerk is going to be coming on, I think, possibly. No, he's sitting back down again. Damien Willemse, I think, just coming across for one or two instructions, but he is moving a little bit uneasily, is Damien Willemse at the moment. Little montage here to celebrate the 100th cap of Eben Etzebeth. 100 international appearances in a little more than 30 years, youngest ever Springbok to get to 100.
Say 30 years, Martin. He seems to imply he won his first cap when he was 1.
Edge of the line, please, Win. Thank you.
Lou de Jager getting that. Here's Hendricks there, on to Willemse. Offloads it there to Lekan Yuam. Kits off, just being held up. There's de Jager. This is when that additional power coming from the front row bomb squad starts to have an effect. There's Franco Mostert. Perhaps unsung a little, but he really is a crucial man off the bench for South Africa, is Mostert. Hendrickse pops it up, Malcolm Marx, like a juggernaut. There's another one, Vincent Koch. Pollard looks to slide it through, but it doesn't work. It's claimed by Thomas Williams.
No hands, let it go, no, stay back. No, see ya, out.
Well, there's still plenty of time on the clock.
Okay, let him go, please. Say excuse me.
No, at the moment, you'd have to say, Jamie, that perhaps for the first time on this tour, Wales looking very tired and perhaps even thin on one or two ideas.
Yeah, look, there's 17 minutes left in this test match. There's 10 points in it. You know, this game is far, far from over. Springboks will be gutted with that. You know, a lot of momentum, wave after wave after wave. Poor decision to kick Andre Pollard. They keep that ball in hand. They're scoring 9 times out of 10. So Wales really let off there.
And that perhaps a measure of how much this Welsh defence has frustrated the South African attack. That was a stunning catch by Willemse, but in turn, Wales doing well to get him into touch.
Maury, one thing that I would love to see from the Springboks is just be a bit more patient with the ball. When we enter the 22, we don't have to score on the first go. Be a bit more patient, get the momentum, and just execute.
Second water break. Second water break. You want to be there? Okay, both sides.
Going to that, you can see at the back there. Jacques Nienaber. Rassie Erasmus still a hugely influential man when it comes to South African rugby and the Springbok team, but we haven't seen too much of him over the course of the last 3 weeks, but he will be lurking and watching this closely, won't he, Skull?
I would be very surprised if he doesn't sit somewhere in the stadium and keeping a hawk eye on the game, but as I understand he's in there with the strategic decision making on a Monday. He's there with a jersey handover, but he has pulled back a little bit from the coaching role.
And I think the polite thing to say would be that he's divided opinion in the UK over the course of the last couple of seasons, but you do have a unique insight. What are his special qualities?
Just from a strategic perspective, the way he analysed the opposition and our own game is phenomenal. It does push the boundaries, but that is Rassie Erasmus.
Yes, Rassie Erasmus, a man who got just about everything out of himself as a player. And doing that and a bit more now as a coach and director of rugby. Ludiaga penalised.
We said it last week, Martin. Wales are going to have an opportunity or two in this second half. Look, 76% of the possession, 76% of the territory in the second half has been in the Welsh half, and the Boks haven't capitalised on that on the scoreboard. So, you know, Wales are going to have a few chances. As I said, 10 points in it, quarter of an hour to go. This game is far from over.
That was the spiral bomb from Dan Biggar, but Billy LaRue made it look all rather straightforward, gathering it. That's a good catch, but Biggar being forced back.
Taken back in, tackle complete, so we can kick direct.
Here's Alan Wynne-Jones.
Inside now. I know, let's make an effort though. Use it!
Thomas Williams being told to use it, but
now it is.
Moving at a snail's pace for a moment. There it is. Good kick. Anything up beyond the 10-metre line, that sort of exit is good, and that's up to halfway.
It's a great kick. You know, Thomas Williams carrying on where Kieran Hardy left off. You know, the Nines have kicked fantastically well during this Test series. You know, kind of at club level, it's important. That has magnified at Test level, isn't it? The quality of defences, quality of chases, the quality of players on the park. That kick accuracy is everything.
Good space.
One of the lessons of the last decade or so is that Test matches between these two are always tight affairs.
Got one, 18, get your hand up.
There is Faf de Klerk. Reece Samet grabs it but couldn't take it. It's gone forward. The referee playing a knock-on advantage. Vincent Koch, referee says the advantage is over. Again, Andre Pollard takes to the boot. And again, may or may not have been the right choice, but it was certainly the wrong execution.
All on.
Here's Pollard again. Chance maybe to a toe. This time he keeps it in hand. There's Billy LaRue. Slides that one off the right foot.
Inside.
Biggar. On here to George North. Thomas Williams quickly through the hands. Lewis Reece Samet. His face being cut down by, of all people, Malcolm Marks, but did rather well there. There's a penalty advantage here to Wales. That's Basham.
Penalty advantage.
Biggar. Will Rowlands takes it in. Referee still playing a penalty advantage.
Roll away. Number 12, you went the wrong way.
Here we go. Here's their chance. You know, they're going to... If Dan can get this kick, you know, just outside the Springbok 22, Wales have a glorious opportunity to get back within one score in this Test match. 12.5 minutes left on the clock. then the box will be getting nervous again.
Jamie, the one thing that it felt in the last 10-12 minutes is no one is actually risking anything. It's sort of a big jabbing match going on. It feels like no one wants to risk playing it, and sometimes someone just needs to take the initiative and start running with the ball and make something happen.
It's classic playing not to lose rather than trying to go out there and win. But I think both teams know, you know, it's a heavy pitch, there's some tired bodies. One error in trying to do that, especially between the 10-metre lines, you get it wrong, turn over, your defender driving more, and it could prove costly in this match. So it's understandable, but I think that's a product of the rugby we've seen over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I would just expect we had a line out on the halfway line. Why to kick the box kick there? Have a go. If you don't get momentum, then kick it, but don't have to kick straight off the line out.
I'm not calling their line. No, not today. Perfect, thank you. Time on.
So Dowie Lake finds Adam Beard. Well, this is slightly reminiscent of Pretoria. Williams, here's Dowie Lake again. He was the man who scored that try when Wales were down to 13. They've got a penalty advantage again. Williams slides it through, and that was meant for Basham, but Van der Klerk rather got in the way.
Side entry.
So South Africa guilty of coming in from the side.
Side entry. Dan, sorry mate.
So Dan Bigger slides it into touch. This match still hangs very much in the balance. A reminder, we've got another test match coming up after this. Scotland in Argentina. We've already had 2 wins today by Northern Hemisphere sides. Can Scotland make it 3 or perhaps even 4 if things go well here for Wales? Well, it was Owen Watkin there with a tackle on Sia Khaleesi. And 1 or 2 of those problems with the line-out throwing that we saw in Bloemfontein repeated there.
Use it.
Here's Van der Klerk.
Onside, he's stationary.
Good clearance from the replacement scrum half.
2 and 2.
That's a really good pressure relieving kick, isn't it? Wales will be really, really disappointed with that. You kind of sense that could be their chance. I think Owen Watkin might be in trouble here. Maybe not.
Well, no indication that the referee is turning to his television match official. Sia Khaleesi appears untroubled as well, so late with the throw.
Good timing.
Nothing wrong with that one. Watkin, Bigger, Williams. Oh, chance now for Josh Adams. Adams taking on Mapimpi. Good tackle from the wing. And that's turned over by Kwagga Smith.
No, not clear, not clear. It's 50-50.
Well, that is what Kwagga Smith delivers
Good response,
to this South Africa team.
I wasn't sure, so I had to say no.
It was 1 against 1. Josh Adams was flying.
Jamie, I love how the Welsh took the opportunity to take the ball wide and expose South Africa's defence. That's the one thing you have to do against a tight defence, let them wander.
Exactly. Wales got quite a lot of joy down that touchline during this match. You know, they want to go there from first phase, stretch this defence. There's some tired South African jerseys out there. You know, don't be surprised if you see Wales playing to width again.
Dowie Lake doing well to get rid of that. But Thomas Williams sees a bit of a gap. Offloads it to Basham, and Basham couldn't keep hold of it. Well, you have to say, what an effort this is by Wales.
Inside. Oh, sorry. Huh? Knock on. Green scrum.
And you feel they just have to make one of these opportunities stick. They might not get many more. You know, that we've had the misplaced line out 5 metres out. Josh Adams with a line break just before, you know, turnover by Quagga Smith. Again, opportunity there if, you know, Tame Basham keeps hold of that ball. And they're not going to get many more. They have to make one of them stick, which gives them a shot at a one-score game coming into the final few minutes.
Let it be stationary, okay?
Wales' discipline is crucial here. Anything but a penalty will do.
Set.
And Stephen Kitsoff and Sam Wainwright crashing to the turf, so that will be reset.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come across.
A lot of thinking there, not a huge amount being said. Jacques Naba pacing up and down at the
no worries, guys. I'll give you a little
back
bit
of the South Africa box.
So you're not moving your feet, okay? Okay.
With a few knees shaking under the table on both teams. Everyone's really nervy, isn't it? They're always nervy test matches, Wales Springboks, and this series has just been immense, isn't it? Kept us all on the edge of our seats until minute 80.
Fine. Set. Use it.
Solid scrum from Wales. Willemse.
Advantage offside.
Well, Wales have come offside.
Offside. It's all right, the penalty's there. Let's play. This one.
Well, Pollard, I think, was quite happy there to play for the whistle.
Offside 18, then not rolling away. 18.
And another penalty against that fella, Sam Wainwright.
Let's go then, please. Do you want to play that? Do you want to play the advantage?
Time now starting to run out.
Just say no. Let's play.
It's important Wales don't back up that penalty with another now, you know. Whether Springboks are trying to maul this, can they be disciplined in their maul defence, make them play out the maul?
To the line, guys. Hey,
are they going to compete in the line out? Let's see, but another penalty you kind of think would be the hammer blow that would win the game for the Springboks. So discipline is everything now in this next minute. Let them play through the phases. I haven't seen too much of the box to threaten this Welsh defence. Only Wales can really hurt themselves now.
The catch there from Peter Steph du Toit.
Backwards once. Advantage 5.
Well, it is another penalty. And away bursts Malcolm Marks.
Good contest for the ball. Penalty advantage.
Kitsoff that time.
Got advantage.
De Klerk goes on the short side. There goes Malcolm Marks, powering his way into the Wales 22. Peter Steph du Toit,
Still advantage.
the heavy artillery, rolling forward again. The second penalty advantage being played. Here's Marks, takes on Dan Biggar.
Ball's out.
De Klerk is caught. There's Lacan Yoham. Referee says he's still playing the advantage. And then George North intervenes, but he knew the moment the ball was in his hand that the referee was going to blow his whistle. Well, South Africa making one perhaps final change. Ulrich Lowe is on.
Jamie, this is exactly what the Springboks want, to slow the game down, keep it tight, force a penalty from Wales, and then hopefully get another 3 points.
Well, exactly, and you know, it takes it to 13 points. Wales are going to need 2 converted tries to win it, you know, probably with about 2 minutes remaining in the game. So I guess, you know, Dan Biggar will rally his troops now. They have to score quickly, you know, so it's a quick restart, win the ball back, score a try immediately, or this game is over for Wales. You know, the Boks have been smart in the way they've managed this, you know, this last 10 minutes, especially Wales had 3 opportunities, didn't we? We spoke about them, and, you know, the discipline then in that maul, I think it was number 5, Adam Bearden from the side, they give away the penalty, then there was another penalty. This is an easy 3 for Pollard, and I think, you know, from now on, this is game over.
27 points to 14. Wales would need 2 converted tries in the last 2.5 minutes.
Stay on, boys, stay on it.
And a steepling restart.
That went to the 10, play on.
Well, it was claimed by Damien Dialindi.
Play.
And now South Africa will start to see, looming in the distance, the finish line.
Use it! Win, no! Don't pull them over.
It has been such a brave effort from Wales. Whatever happened tonight, they were going to take home that first ever win for a Wales side in South Africa against the Springboks. That came in Bloemfontein. They can feel with justification that they should have won the first test match up in Pretoria. There's Basham. Well, as has become the fashion in the last few minutes, the penalty is South Africa's.
Take your players away. No. Take your players away. Move away. Away.
Martin, the one thing you can't take away from the Welsh side is their physicality and work ethic on the pitch. It was just outstanding to come to South Africa, put up a fight after a disappointing Six Nations, and have their first win in South African soil, and make it so competitive.
Yeah, I think as a Welshman, I'd be hugely proud to see that endeavour. You know, Test match rugby is about desire, it's about heart, it's about guts, really, coming up. You know what you're coming up against the Springboks. They're one of the most physical, intimidating sides in Test rugby, and Wales have been immense the last few weeks. You know, Test 1 went down to the wire, desperately close to losing that second Test. You know, it was the stuff of dreams for Wales. No side in history before this team had won in South Africa. They can take enormous pride in that. Look, today wasn't meant to be for this Welsh side. Again, I think they've been mightily impressive in defeat. They had opportunities, come minute 60, come minute 65. They had opportunities, and, you know, when the coaches review this game, not that they will because they're on summer break now, but they won't review it for a long time. When they review it, they'll see there were opportunities there, and the players can take a huge amount of heart from that. You know, massive respect to the Welsh lads. I think they've been awesome this tour, but congratulations to the Boks on the series victory.
And Andre Pollard, successful with what proves to be the final kick of the match. So the South has its first Test victory of this Super Saturday. But what an effort it has been by the men in red. Eben Etzebeth has celebrated his 100th cap for the Springboks with victory. It's the same for Bongi Mbonambi on the occasion of his 50th. And Wales, well, they will return home defeated in the series, but they have so much to be proud of. South Africa run out winners by 30 points to 14.